Vita here. I'm driving up Highway 6, heading north up to Sandon. I'm going to help out with a few things this evening, and also get ready for I had to take care of some paperwork as well. And so I thought, well, I don't have to start work until 9 tomorrow, so it gives me enough time so I can just hang out there and I don't have to rush away. Normally I start at 6 at my other job, which I'm done. Today's my Friday from that job, and it's the eve of my other job. Anyway, I thought it would be cool while I'm driving to do a video. I want to talk mental health. Mental health comes in so many forms, and it's such a colorful aspect to many people's lives. It's not black and white. Some people have to deal with depression, addictions, all types of addictions. Alcohol is just one addiction. There's numerous addictions, and I would have to say social media is a huge addiction for many people. You just have to go outside, and you'll see people on their phones looking down and stuff like that. That's becoming a problem for a lot of people. And one thing that I'm really grateful that I did, and I think it's going on quite a few months now, that I just deleted my Facebook app. Never really been one to use Twitter, and never got onto the Instagram thing, and I definitely don't know how to do TikTok. And I'm okay with that. Facebook was kind of one of the mediums that I started using back in 2008, and it can be, definitely draws you in. And I remember checking my Facebook and a notification would come in. I'm like, oh, you get drawn into it. I have to say, I feel so much better not having it. Anyway, I'm sidetracking on to some other completely different issue. So I ended up, so mental health. I think about suicide, for instance, and those that actually go through with it, and it's just their mental turmoil that those individuals must have been going through at that time to make such a drastic choice and decision in their life. I can imagine it. I've been to that stage. Like, I've been borderline suicidal. The night of July 30th, I was done. Like, I seriously was ready. Oh, we got some turkeys crossing the highway. One turkey doesn't know whether it should cross the road or go back. Anyway, I'm in Winlaw right now, or going through Winlaw. So the thought of suicide has crossed my mind. Whether I would ever go through with it, I don't know. I have a strong desire to want to live life. What gets me personally to the stage where I'm thinking suicide is when I am so overwhelmed. And a lot of that is my own doing. I am one of those insanely ambitious people with an insanely creative mind, where I want to do this and I have all these fantastic, cool ideas, but I'm one person, and trying to motivate other people to see your dreams, your desires, your ambitions, your passions the way you see it is challenging. So you hire staff, you hire employees to help you, and they don't do it the way you want it done, and you're like, what the fuck, man? So you end up taking on more workload, trying to manage it all, and that's where I got into trouble. And I felt alone. There's a lot of things that have been going on in Sandon way before I even arrived there in 2016. There's so much politics there. It's actually quite sad for such a beautifully remote, gorgeous place with such rich history. I just don't understand the politics other than jealousy. I don't know. It's weird to me. The group of people that are wanting to charge me, and I'm not going to mention any names because I do have a trial coming up, but the group of people that want to charge me, these individuals from the very first day, with the exception of a couple, their true colors came out a little bit later, they were they did everything they could to try to get me to hate hell. And dealing with that, and I'm not a hateful person. I don't think I am. Sometimes I might come across that way, but I honestly don't feel like I am a hateful person. they're doing some construction work right in front of Kevin's place there. It looks like they're putting a culvert in. I'm just leaving Winlaw right now. Anyways, between the politics and all that and the workload, my workload just wasn't the bistro, it just wasn't the gift shop, it just wasn't, all the other cool things I like to do, like landscaping, being out in the yard, wanting to spend time with my family, actually wanting to have a life, like, go figure, like, I want to actually have a life, I'd love to go hiking, like, stuff like that, and try and also wanting to engage with the many amazing visitors that come to Sandon on an annual basis it's a lot to take on, and then you add all the politics onto that, and you got to stay on top of it, because the individuals that in my opinion are not nice people, but they're nice to other people, they're just not nice to us, because we challenge and question things. They have time on their hands. They've got time to go and sit at coffee shops and bullshit, or in this case, gossip about other people. We don't. Hal and I are both the type of people that we're workers. We're hardworking people, and which I don't have a problem with. I'm proud to be a hard worker. I felt alone, extremely alone in Sandon, even though there's people everywhere. I didn't have anybody to talk to about everything. Like, Hal's like, oh, you can come talk to me. It's not the same. He was too directly involved in the day-to-day stuff, and as well as we were in an intimate relationship together as well, not just business people and work together that way, but we also were intimately involved. And trying to keep it away from the staff, because you don't really want the staff to have to get involved. It's hard. And I turned to alcohol. Excuse me. I turned to alcohol as an escape from all of that. And obviously that wasn't working, and I just became too much for me. And alcohol just was my only friend. It just was my only comfort. It's like a blanket. It's something you can rely on. Well, sometimes. But it was losing its effectiveness back in July, and it just wasn't doing what it used to do for me, and I knew it was coming up. I was so exhausted. I hadn't eaten for 5 days. I may have nibbled on something here and there, but I had rarely ate. I did drink water, thankfully. We've got really good water in Sandon. But the staff didn't know. And then add on that dynamic of having difficult staff to deal with, having staff that don't show up for work, or they're like, oh, I'm not going to come because I got this to do or whatever. And it didn't. And it's not, well, there was some really good staff, don't get me wrong. There was some really good staff, but they didn't understand behind the scenes stuff. They didn't know that I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get caught up on paperwork, and there was a lot of paperwork, and I had to neglect other things to do that, and but making sure everything was ordered, making sure that I was trying to get the bills paid, trying to get this done, doing the payroll, plus having to run the businesses and manage the staff. And we had new staff. Every year we end up with a new staff, and they didn't know. And sadly, I became this horrible, wicked, nasty human being, which is not a normal characteristic for me but when I'm pushed to the limit, I just went insane. Like, I just couldn't take it anymore, and there was a lot going on, and the politics of the other people too. Like, a lot of people don't know what goes on in Sandon, and of course nobody talks to you. They take the word out. They hear one side of the story and they take it for actual fact, because a whole whack of them team up, but they don't connect with you, the other side of the story. They don't try to understand, and so they make a judgment, and they might not think that they do, but you can tell by their nonverbal behavior towards you. We've noticed that with a few people. They kind of look at you in a specific way, and they don't really, they were friendly and nice to you, and all of a sudden they're just kind of like awkward around you, won't make eye contact. It's really, really weird behavior. like there's a guilt there or something. I don't know how to describe it or actually what it is. So, mental health. If I would have committed suicide that night, if I got to that point where I said, I'm fucking done. I am so tired of this. I'm tired of running around on this hamster wheel. The individuals that have an issue with how I behaved probably went, oh my God, we had no idea. Why wouldn't they have reached out? And then they went on this whole suicide awareness. And I'm here to talk to you. I know many of you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it through social media, you know. Call me. I'm available 24/7. That is not true. Now, I'm not saying that a lot of people aren't available, but I can tell you firsthand that's not a reality. Most people don't have the time of day to deal with your problems because they have their own shit to deal with. Also, the crisis line, they don't have enough volunteers. And I did call the crisis line that night, the night of July 30th, and nothing. I did reach out to a few of my family members, and they were great. However, they didn't really know what to do with me. And I kind of felt like they were egging me on a bit. Like they were like, yeah, you are totally, you're totally right to be in that state of mind. You should totally be pissed off, blah, blah, blah. And instead of, but I also wasn't being completely truthful for them too. I was giving them tidbits of this and tidbits of that. But I felt alone. They literally came down to feeling alone. I didn't have anybody. The staff all avoided me. They didn't want anything to do with me. And I understand why. I wouldn't have wanted anything to do with myself at that time either. But I really want to make it clear to people, when somebody naturally doesn't behave that way in a general way, and all of a sudden their behavior or their personality changes quite drastically, something's wrong. And you can either reach out and be supportive, or you can hide and not deal with it. And those are choices, and they're legit choices. Don't be surprised if something happens, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened. I don't know. Yeah, people have mental health problems, and they behave and they react in certain ways, and everybody has their own way. Some people just recluse. They don't talk to anybody. I'm a lot more vocal, as you guys can tell. Surprise, surprise. My emotions are literally, I'm extremely vulnerable with my emotions. I'm not really a closed off person. Maybe I'm too assertive, aggressive, whatever you want to call it. I'm definitely not passive. However, don't belittle those people any more than they're already dealing with, because they're already belittling themselves. And why I bring this up is I've kind of heard through the grapevine that some of the staff have gone out in public and have gone out and belittled me and my behavior, and that's uncalled for. There was no reason for them to be doing that, and it wasn't just them. There's other people too. And that doesn't help the matter. And if I was seriously depressed, if I wasn't strong enough to go, okay, you know what, these people also have issues as well, I may have committed suicide. I may have just felt even more isolated and more alone. We need to stop judging people. I think in general, people are good people. I think they're genuinely good people. Now, there are sociopaths. I definitely know that. And that, I don't even want to go. That's a whole other 10, 15, 20-minute conversation or talk. There are, though, those that are genuinely good people. They have good traits about them. However, they have these defects that come out when things go array, such as my case. And it's important not to dismiss those individuals and help them out and be as supportive as you possibly can. And give them a chance. Forgive them, right? And realize that they're not horrible human beings. They're just people. They're just trying to get through it. And you even though you may not have acted that way, doesn't mean that you may not ever act that way. And that's another thing people need to understand. Everybody has a point in their life where they snap. Now, you may not have an addictive personality, and if you are one of those people that doesn't, you can live with or without drugs and alcohol or whatever your addiction is, or whatever opportunities for addiction is, if that made any sense. Please understand that doesn't mean it's not going to happen to you. I know many people that end up, later in life. I've seen people start smoking at 40, 50 years old. You're like, what? You've lived your entire life without having a cigarette, and then you go and you start smoking? Okay, that I can't comprehend. However, there's a reason for it. It's not I'm not one to judge the reasoning behind it. It just surprises me for sure. That's the same with alcohol, and same with drugs, or same with anything else. Could be eating, could be gambling, it could be sex. Who knows? Like the list of addictive behaviors is insane. Depression could come on suddenly. There could be a major hormonal imbalance that happens later in life too that can change your mental state. And someone, you could be someone that was really go, super friendly, super out there, and then all of a sudden you just become reclusive. You don't want to get up in the morning, and you never know. And so judging people that are down and putting them down even more when they're down, not cool. Like, that's got to stop. And quit using this pretense. Please stop putting out there that I'm here 24/7. I'm going to support you. Suicide awareness. Don't bullshit yourself, because I can tell you right now, the average person will not be available. They will run and hide because they don't want to deal with it. Anyway, that is my share today. I am not depressed. I look forward to getting up every day in the morning. I am doing very well. I'm coming up on 90 days. Actually, 90 24-hour days is this Thursday, and 90 calendar days is Saturday. And I'm doing extremely well. I am mentally and it's real. What I'm learning from the program and working the 12 steps is really helping me in my day-to-day life. And my relationship with Hal is very nice. He's been very supportive of my sobriety, which is lovely. He's been wanting to learn more about it, which is also very lovely. So he also was very understanding that I cannot be in Sandon full-time. As much as I love Sandon, I can't be in Sandon full-time. Sandon is going to be at arm's length away for some time now, until I get enough tools to be able to do it, because I am not mentally ready to be dealing with the day-to-day stuff of Sandon. I'm really liking where things are at right now. I like staying in my car. I like that gypsy lifestyle. I like having the freedom to come and go as I please, even though my schedule seems to, and I don't know why I do this, but I'm pretty busy. Like, my social life is quite busy. The snow is on the mountains. I don't know if you guys can see through the side mirror as it's driving past, but I'm actually just heading up. I just left Slocan. I'm not heading up the hill by the bluffs there, Cape Horn area, and the snow is coming up on the mountains. As we come through it, you guys can see up in here, up this way. It's pretty spectacular. It's this part of the world is absolutely gorgeous. Somebody had asked me if I would want to move back to Vancouver Island, and I don't have a desire. Like, there's things that I do miss about Vancouver Island. I miss the farmers markets. I miss all the farmers. They're good friends, and all of them are good friends of mine. I miss the ability to bike. I haven't been able to bike. I used to be an avid cyclist. I would bike everywhere. Biking for me was I would go and get groceries with my bike. I would do this, I would do that, and it's just not the same out here in the Kootenays. And I know people do it, But because the things that I do in my life are so spread apart, it's hard for me to just jump on a bike and go from point A to point B in such a short time, which is fine. I've adapted to that. So instead I enjoy going. I go for walks. I'll go on a hike. I'll do stuff like that. I've got my hobbies. I'm going to get back into doing my stained glass over the winter, which I'm looking forward to. I'm going to make a point of getting into doing some more cross-country skiing, because I do have some skis that I got last year, and I just kind of dabbled with it a bit, but I'm a little bit closer to some other networks of trails, being through Nelson and Castlegar, and yeah, that's where I'm at. And I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope you're able to get through each day with a smile on your face. I hope that you've got a good support network of people in your life. Yeah, just take care of yourself, right? You're all you've got, and if you do have some good people in your life, then that is amazing, and feel blessed and have much gratitude for that, because there's a lot of people that do feel quite alone. And yeah, anyway, think of you guys always. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you've given me over the years and continue to give me, and the cheerleading that I get from so many of you. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks you guys. Thanks again, and look forward to the next video. Mwah! Oh, questions, comments, stuff like that. For some reason the comments are off on the YouTube, but you can email me too, as V as in Vita, F as in Fred, TUROK@gmail.com is my email address. Feel free to shoot me an email. Don't give out my text, so don't text me, okay? I'm not giving my cell out, but I can definitely do emails, okay? All right, bye guys. Mwah.